Hello everyone, today we are talking about writing task 1, how to give extra information in the graphs, in the diagrams that show the stages of doing something, okay? So today I will be teaching you in English, so let's start. How do we give extra information? So here we have a process of making a T, okay? So it explains all the stages that are involved in this process. So as we know, let's remember what we have already done. Okay, so this part is the introduction. Then we give a general overview, dividing it into 2 stages. So this is stage 1 and this is stage 2. Okay, then we should explain each stage, and also not only explaining what happens in this stage, we can also add some extra details. Okay, so let's talk about it. You can improve your answer. First, you can describe what happens in a stage. So this is like a standard thing. And after that, you add a comma and then add extra details or explain why this happens. For example, tea leaves are put on the ground in the sun. So this is stage 1. We just explaining here. Here we are just explaining what happens. And then after that, here we can explain why this happens or give some extra details. So here, in this example, we are giving the details of why this happens so that they can be dried. Okay, so let's see how can we give extra details. So there are 4 types of sentences that we can add. Okay, so the first one, which verb. So stage, first we explain the stage, then after comma we add which does something. So these 2 extra details say some like extra details. Okay, extra details. We give some details of this stage, what happens exactly in this stage. And then here in these 2 types of sentences, we give the answer to the question why this happens. Okay, so we can add which in order to give extra details, and then we can add where something does something or something is done something. So we can add active sentences or passive sentences, and then so that in order to active or passive sentence. So this answers the question why this happens. Okay, so let's look at some examples. For example, the first one, which does something. Milk and sugar are added to the tea, comma, which gives it extra flavor. So this is some extra details. Okay, so and it's always used in an active sentence. There's no passive sentence in this type of extra details. Then another one is in order to. This gives an answer to the question why this happens. Here we can use active or passive sentence. For example, milk and sugar are added to the tea in order to give it extra flavor. The sugar cane is taken to a factory, comma, in order to be made into sugar. So be made is a passive sentence. And this way we can show that not only we are describing the stage, we are also adding some details which improves our answer, and it can give us some more points in writing task 1, okay? Then another one is where subject or object. I wrote subject or object in order to show you that this is active sentence, this is passive sentence. Okay, the boxes are delivered to the supermarket where they are put on shelves. This is passive sentence. Then the boxes are delivered to the shops where workers put them on shelves. So this is the subject, that's why it's an active sentence. Then so that in order to, we can also change it to in order to. This answers the questions why this happens. The boxes are delivered to supermarkets so that they are put on shelves. They are put on shelves. This is passive sentence. The boxes are delivered to shops so that workers put them on shelves. Here's the subject. That's why it is an active sentence. Okay. So I have some sentences for practice for you guys. We have sentence number 1, which is a stage. So what happens in this stage? And the second sentence is some extra detail here. So you have to add these sentences using the structures that I showed you before. The sun shines. This helps the plant grow. We can do it. The sun shines, which helps the plant to grow. Okay, so we can do it like this. So in a comment section, you can add these 2 sentences and write, please, in the comments, your examples of this practice exercise. Okay, so I think that's all for now. Next lesson, we will talk about maps, what happens there, and how would we describe the differences in 2 maps. Okay, see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.